Okay, good morning everyone. Today we are going to do a listening session. If you remember, we have seen a text about how charitable are our youth. And it is about how charitable are our youth, especially during emergency situations, during floods, disasters, for instance, floods, earthquake, tsunamis, so on. Good. Our today lesson is about, we are going to see our listening session, it is related to one of the disasters, which is the earthquake. Yeah. Earthquake, or we say earthquake, or quake means the shaking of earth. Okay, it's like people of Murdas saw in 2003. Okay, this is an earthquake, the movement of earth. Good. As I have said, we are going to, our today lesson is a listening session, mainly a listening session. Good. Concerning, let's talk about earthquake. Okay, can we prevent or stop an earthquake? Can we prevent or stop an earthquake from happening? Do you have the power, the capacity to do so? Yeah, of course, no. We cannot stop an earthquake. But can we mitigate or reduce? Mitigate means reduce the dangers of an earthquake. Yeah, we can do so. How? By what method? Yes, we can mitigate or reduce the dangers of or the effects of an earthquake by, for instance, building anti-seismic homes, for instance. It's like in Japan. Okay, buildings which are anti-seismic. Yes, against earthquake and so on. Is it clear? Building sound homes and so on. Very good. Good. What do we call those? Tips and so on. They are called safety measures. So we can take safety measures. Yeah. Some actions or measures which we can take in order to reduce or to mitigate the dangers of an earthquake. So when it happens, it doesn't provoke great damage and so on. Yes, good. So the safety measures. Very good. Let's have a look to the pictures. We have got 4 pictures here. Yeah. So in the first pictures you can see this is a building. Yeah, a building. And then this is a child, or he is running away. Yeah, good. And here in the second picture we have, as you can see here, a family together, family members together. And then we have got here a girl who is crying or screaming. Yeah, she is screaming or shouting. Yeah, very good. So as you can see here, this is a tick. This is a tick, and this is a cross. What does it mean? Tick means this is a right action. We do it. Okay, it's good to do it. Yes, during an earthquake. This is a tick, and this is a wrong action. Good. So it is good during an earthquake, it is good to stay together with your family members, and it's not good to scream or shout and so on. Is it clear? Good. And then we have got another picture. Yes, you can see here a table with a chair, a woman, yeah, with her kids. She is, I mean, crouching. She is crouching under a desk, yeah, a desk or a table. She is crouching. She is hiding, yeah. Good. And then we have got here another, yes, a man staying in a doorway. Okay, this is a doorway. You have got a door and a doorway under a door. Okay, yeah, this is doorway, this is a roof maybe, and this is a doorway. So it's good to stay in a doorway during an earthquake. It is a good or a right action. And then here we have got I mean, a man or woman. She is trying to take the stairs. These, they are called stairs. So this is a wrong action. Okay, it's not good to take the stairs during an earthquake. Yeah, good. Let's move on to the fourth picture. Good. We have got here a man, yeah, inside his car. Okay, inside his car, and I mean he stays in the car. He is not, I mean, the car, it is not working, or yes, it is. Okay, this is a right action. Good. And then we have got another picture. We have got, this is a building, a man staying away from the building in or on his car. Yeah, good. So this is also a good action. So it's good to stop if you are driving, for instance, during an earthquake. Yeah, you are driving and then suddenly an earthquake happened. Okay, it's good to stop. You stop the engine, you stop your vehicle, and you stay in your vehicle away from buildings and so on. Good. And then here we have got another picture. Yeah, so this is, I mean, this is called, yeah, this is an overpass. Overpasses. Okay, overpass. You, okay, this is a car is trying to get or to walk in overpass and overpasses. Okay, good. It's not good to take the overpasses when you are driving during an earthquake, because it can, why? Because it can be broken and damaged and you fall down. Okay, so this is a wrong action. And then we have got another car here. Yes, a car or a man in a car. He is trying to get through the underpasses. This is overpasses and this is an underpasses. Okay, it's not good again. It is not good. It is a wrong action. It's not good to go, yeah, or to drive underpasses during an earthquake. Why? Because it can fall down, fall on you. Okay, is it clear now? Good. You have got here 4 pictures. Of course, you student, you take I mean your handout. If you are following the video, yeah, you take the handout, yeah, and you follow me. Okay, let's start with the first task. Take the learner sheet and you follow me. Okay, good. Reorder the earthquake safety measures A, D. We have got here A, B, C, D. Yeah, they are called earthquake safety measures. So your task is to order them according to their importance. You grade them. Okay, so you read those sentences or statements, and you try to grade them, classify them according to their degree of importance. So as you can see here in the table, you have the most important. So the most important safety measures, number 1, and then the second, the third, and the least important. Okay, and indeed, actually, each statement illustrate one of the picture, or each picture illustrate one of the statements. Okay, is it clear? Okay, in 2 or 3 minutes you read them and you try to grade them or classify them according to their degree of importance. Now you make pause to the video, yes, if you are watching the video, in 2 or 3 minutes, and then we are going to come back. Okay, you try to classify them. Okay, you make pause to the video you are watching. Good. Let's say, for instance, it depends on your opinions. For instance, maybe the most important one is C, then B, and then D, and A. Okay, so these are your, suppose they are, okay, your guesses. Okay, now we are going to listen, yes, in order to check our guesses. Okay, in order to check if our guesses are true or not. Okay, now you listen carefully. Of course, you make pause to the video and you listen. Okay, good. You are going to listen to an interview between Mr. Clancy, who is an earthquake expert. He knows a lot, he is skilled in earthquakes and so on, with the interviewer. Okay, good. We do live in a region where some of the largest earthquakes in the world occur. Good, you listen, you take notes. Okay, so we are going to order them according to their degree of importance. We cannot stop an earthquake, but we can prepare for it to save our lives. So today we have with us in the studio Mr. James Clancy, an earthquake expert. He will tell us how we can mitigate or reduce the dangers of earthquakes. Mr. Clancy, good evening and welcome to Studio 5. Mr. Clancy, good evening. Mr. Clancy, there is a lot of talk about mitigation these days. What does that mean precisely? Well, mitigation is a reduction of risks. We cannot do anything to stop earthquakes, can we? Well, in this case, we had better build sounder and stronger homes, improve the construction of roads, power stations and other public works, and above all, we had better develop zoning regulation, and so and so. So, mitigation means preparation for disasters that we cannot prevent or stop. Is that right? Yes, it is. We prepare ourselves so that the disasters will not hit so hard when they occur again. Mr. Clancy, what are the safety measures that should be taken by ordinary citizens during, after, and before an earthquake? Well, let's start with the safety measures during an earthquake. Okay, you listen carefully. The most important rule is to stay calm. Don't panic. If you are inside a building during an earthquake, you had better stand in a doorway or crouch under a desk or table, well away from windows or glass dividers. You had better not try to take the stairs and lifts. These are the most dangerous places during an earthquake. Now, if you are outside, You had better stand away from buildings, trees, telephones, and electrical lines, as these may fall on you. On the road, you should drive away from underpasses and overpasses. Stop in a safe area and stay in your vehicle. Yeah, okay. Let's now grade or classify those safety measures according to their degree of importance. So as you listen in the video, let's start with the most important safety measure. The most important safety measure is to stay calm, don't panic, yeah? Which means B, not C, okay? Then, if you are, okay, this is inside. If you are inside, stand in a doorway or crouch under desk or table. Yeah, this is the second safety measure. So B and then C. If you are outside, if you remember during the interview, he has said, if you are outside, stand away from buildings and so on. So which means D. And then the last one is A, on the road, drive away from underpasses and overpasses. So B, C, D, and A. Is it clear? Good. Okay, write down the answers. You write down on your worksheet, okay? Okay, now let's move on to task number 3. Task 3. Yeah, task 3. There is one mistake, spotting the mistake, okay? Good. Task number 3. There is one mistake in each of the sentences below. You are going to listen again and correct the mistakes, okay? In fact, there is one common mistake. We have got 3 statements. 1, 2, 3. Yes or no? Good. There is one common mistake in sentence 1, 2, and 3. Okay, the same mistake in all the sentences. You spot it. You tell us where the mistake or where is the mistake, okay? Good. Now you are going to listen. Yeah, listen carefully, okay? In order to spot the mistake, okay? Good. Well, let's start with the safety measures during an earthquake. The most important rule is to stay calm. Don't panic. If you are inside a building during an earthquake, you had better stand in a doorway or crouch under a desk or table, well away from windows or glass dividers. You had better not try to take the stairs and lifts. These are the most dangerous places during an earthquake. Now, if you are outside, you had better stand away from buildings, trees, telephones, and electrical lines, as these may fall on you. On the road, You should drive away from underpasses and overpasses. Stop in a safe area and stay in your vehicle. Okay, did you get the mistake? If you are inside a building during an earthquake, you had better to stand in a doorway. You had better not to try to take the stairs. You had better to stand away from building. Okay? Did you get the mistake? Yes. As you can see here, the mistake consists of adding to the verb idiom had better. So we say you had better stand, not to stand without to. We say you had better not try. Cannot say you had better not to try. No, you had better try. We omit to. And then you had better to stand away. This is not correct. We say you had better stand without to. Okay, so the mistake consists of adding to the verb idiom you had better. We use you had better plus what? Stand, take, stand. They are called verb without to, you know it. Yeah, an infinitive of a verb without to, it is called a stand. So you had better plus what? Plus a stand. It's not you had better plus to, this is not correct. You had better plus stand. You had better stand. You had better not try. You had better stand, and so on. Good. Okay, let's write this. As you can see, we have there is a gap. You follow me on your worksheet. Okay, let's complete the following. We use, as you can see here, you follow me on your worksheet. Okay. Okay. Let's complete. Let's complete the following. So we use had better. It is all in the sentences. We have had better. This is the affirmative form. In the negative, of course, you add not. Okay, had better or had better not plus what? You had better try. You had better stand plus a stem, a verb without to. Okay, plus stem to what? To express or give what? Okay, here, what are we doing here? During an earthquake, you had better stand away from building. You had better not try to take the stairs. You had better stand in a doorway. As if we are or I'm giving what? For instance, if a teacher, when the exams approaching, okay, he is going to tell you, okay, you revise your lessons, yeah, in order to get good marks, for instance. Here, as if he is advising, okay, he is giving an advice. Okay, so we use had better or had better not in English plus stem in order to express or to give advice. In order to express or give advice. Now take your course book, your books, on page 127. Yes? We have a tip box. Okay? Tip box. So please, you read the tip box, you read it in order to complete the table. Yeah, you have got a table on your worksheet asking for and giving advice. When you ask for or give advice, use the following expressions. We have got 3 columns, yeah? Asking for advice, you ask for advice, you seek advice. What is the, I mean, there is an expression used in order to ask for advice, to seek advice, okay? Good. Now when you give an advice, you ask for advice, and then now you give advice. Good. We have affirmative form, negative form. Negative form with not, okay, and the affirmative form, it's clear, without not, okay? Good. We have got, for instance, had better not, plus time, had better not. You add, please. You add had better, yeah, had better, sorry, plus time, or had better not plus stem, okay? So in the affirmative form, it's like the examples we have seen. You had better stay calm. This is affirmative, okay? When you give advice, we can use you had better plus stem, or you can use in the negative form had better not, okay? You had better not drive, you had better not take or not try to take the stairs, and so on, okay? Good. So as we have seen here, yeah, we use had better or had better not in order to give advice. Now we have got another or other forms which are used in order to give advice. Is it clear? So you complete this table. Of course, the answers, you are going to complete this table from the tip box. The answers are included in the tip box. Is it clear? Okay, in, let's say, 5 minutes. Okay, good. Let's read the tip box. When you ask for advice, make sure you explain what the problem is before or after asking for advice, okay? I'm deeply worried about earthquake. Can I ask for advice? So here, when you ask for advice, asking for advice, we may use can I ask for advice? Or we can say, can I ask for your opinion about this and this, and so on, okay? So this is the first expression. When you ask for advice, okay, of course you are going to make a question. Yeah, you can say, can I ask for your advice? Yeah, good. Or you can say, what do you think I should or ought to do, yeah, during, after an earthquake, for instance, yeah? Is it clear? Or you can say, I'm thinking of, let's say this and this. What is your opinion, or what do you think, okay? Good. This is one asking for advice, so you may write one of the expressions here, okay? Can I ask for your advice? What do you think I should do before, after, it depends, okay, and so on. Good. Now, when giving advice, when you give advice to someone, when you advise someone, okay, use one of the following expression. You should, okay, so we use should in order to give advice, okay? So we may write here, you should plus what? Plus stand. You should stay, you should write, and so on. Is it clear? We can use should. Or you ought to prepare, for instance, for earthquake. So we can say you ought to stay, and so on. Or you ought not to, okay? So see, here you should, this is the affirmative. And the negative form, you can say you should not by adding not. Is it clear? Good. You should not, you shouldn't, that's all. Okay, there is another expression which we use in order to give advice, but I mean it is rarely used, I mean in English. You can say, for instance, if I were you, I would stay, or I would stay calm, for instance, okay? You can also use, this is just, okay, an additional information. But what you have to keep in your mind is that when you ask for advice, we can use, yeah, can I ask for advice? Or we can say, what do you think I should do before an earthquake, for instance, or during an earthquake, and so on. Is it clear? Good. Now, when you give advice, when you give advice to someone, we can say you had better stay calm, don't panic. You had better, for instance, revise your lessons during exams, okay? And the negative form, you add had better not. You add not. Okay, is it clear? Good. Now we can use you should. For instance, you should revise your lessons. Okay, should. Okay, as we have seen, you can use it in obligation, but here you can also use it in order to give advice to someone. Or you should not. Is it clear? So this is affirmative or negative form. Then we can also use you ought to. You ought to revise your lessons. You ought to stay calm. Is it clear? Plus stem again. Is it clear now? Okay, let's write the answers. Yeah, so we use our what is the form which we use in order to ask for advice. So we can say, can I ask for your advice? Can I ask for your advice? Okay, question mark, since it is a question. Or we can also use, what do you think? What do you think I should do? I should do, for instance, during an earthquake. I should do, okay, and so on. A question mark, since it is a question. Now, when you give advice, you had better or had better not. Now you can also use you should. You should plus what? Plus a stem. A stem, as we know, it is a verb without to. For instance, to write, you should write, or you should to revise your exams. Okay, you should revise your exams, okay? You should plus stem, and what is the negative form of should? Should not, okay? Should not, plus also plus a stem. Good. You ought to. Can also use ought to in order to give advice, plus stem. And you ought not to. You ought not to. Plus again, plus a stem. Now we move on to the last activity or the last phase after listening task. Good. You follow me on your worksheet. A friend of yours. Good. Before that, you try to do, this activity, normally it is a dialogue, okay? It is a dialogue. So if you are with your friend at home, you may play the dialogue, okay? Make the dialogue between, you and your friends. If not, you can do it yourself, okay? You ask and you give advice. You are going to make a dialogue asking and giving advice. You ask for advice and then you give an advice. Okay, now let's move on to the last phase or the last activity, okay? You follow me on your worksheet after listening task. Good. Okay, this is an activity. It is a pair work. So if you are at home with your friend, you can do it, okay? It is a pair work. Okay, you ask for and you give advice. Asking and giving advice. Okay, you and your friend. If you don't have, a friend at home or someone, okay, that can help you in doing so, you can do it yourself. Okay, you ask and you give advice. Good. A friend of yours is moving to a seismic zone to live in with his family. Your friend is not familiar with the necessary precautions, the safety measures that should be taken before, during, and after an earthquake. Okay, advice or give him advice using ought to, yeah, ought to, had better, or should, yeah, or their negative form. Had better not, should not, ought not to. Okay. Okay. Before you may, okay, I mean these are notes that can help you in order to ask for and give advice. We have before an earthquake, after an earthquake. Good. Before an earthquake, you had better have an earthquake survival kit at hand. Before an earthquake, you have, or these notes, as I have said, they help you, or they may help you in doing your dialogue. Okay, before an earthquake, as okay, in the lesson we have seen the safety measures during an earthquake. Okay, now we are going to say safety measures before an earthquake. Okay, have an earthquake survival kit at hand. For instance, this is a survival kit. Okay, this is a survival kit. I mean, different tools and so on that enables you to stay alive, yes, during emergency situations. Okay. It's like a first aid. Okay, it's like this is a box which enables or to save you in order to stay alive. Okay, good. Don't place object over beds. Object, I don't know, over beds. Okay, do you know what is a bed? We sleep on beds. Okay, a bed. So don't put object over bed. Okay, good. Now after an earthquake, provide first aid. Provide first aid. We have seen first aid in the lesson of the Red Cross and the Red Crescent. We have said that they give help to people, they provide first aid during floods, wars, and so on. Okay, check for injuries. Yes, injuries. Yes, check for injuries. Okay, those people who are affected. Okay, okay, the al-jarha. Okay, check for injuries. Good. Now this is an example that may help you in doing the dialogue or the interview, or the dialogue, sorry. Good. A, I'm extremely worried about earthquake. Can I ask for your advice? So A is asking, I'm extremely worried about earthquake. Can I ask for your advice? For advice? B, sure. A, what should I do during a quake? What do you think I should do, or what should I do during earthquake? B, now B, you should. You can say you had better, you ought to. You should, for instance, or had better, you should not, or you had better not panic. Is it clear? So you make a dialogue. You ask for using, what, or can I ask for, what should I do, and so on. And then be giving advice. You ask for and give advice. Okay? So it's like, for instance, stay calm, don't panic, the examples you have seen. What should I do during an earthquake? During. Now, you may replace during by before using one of the notes, or you can say what should I do after an earthquake. Now we are going to use those grammatical form for giving advice with the notes here, before an earthquake or after. It depends on your question. If you are asking about the precautions of the safety measures before an earthquake, you are going to use have an earthquake survival kit at hand, or don't place object over bed. If you are seeking advice about safety measures after an earthquake, you use provide first aid, check for injuries and so on. Is it clear? Good. Okay, in 5 minutes or in 3 minutes. Okay, yes, let's write, for instance, an example. What should I do, what should I do? Yeah. After an earthquake, what should I do after an earthquake? Yeah. B, you can say, for instance, you had better, or we can use should, or ought to, and so on. You had better. Okay, let's take one of the earthquake safety measures. Yeah, after an earthquake, say, you can say, yes, after an earthquake, provide first aid. So we can say, you had better, you had better, or you should provide, sorry, you should provide first aid. Full stop. A simple example. Okay, so here this is a slash. You are not going to use both of them together. Okay, no, use only one of them. Okay, it means here we have two possibilities. Okay, you can say you had better provide first aid, or you should provide first aid. Is it clear? Good, that's all for today. Yeah, asking for giving advice and so on. So you should, practice those expressions in order to memorize them and so on, and remember them later. Is it clear? Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for your attention. See you in another session.